other mortals. Most of those who are watching my videos are not subscribed to my channel. If you find my videos interesting, please subscribe to my channel. You can also buy my music on Bandcamp to help my channel grow. Now take some dark chocolate and a cup of espresso because it's time to begin. During the last 5 years, I noticed one growing trend on nostalgic music. Why people like feeling nostalgia while listening to music, and what is nostalgia? This term is based on two Greek words, nostos, homecoming, and algos, sorrow. Originally, nostalgia was considered a medical condition. Often soldiers had it when they felt depressed on the battlefield and missed their homes. Recently, people see nostalgia as the way to reflect on the good old days. People have different views and reasons for nostalgia. Some consider it good to mentally return to the nice moments from the past. Others consider it bad and think it's a mental issue. My view of nostalgia is somewhere in the middle. I don't mind about reflecting on some moments from the past. Sometimes you can even learn some lessons from it. But it isn't healthy to do it constantly. If you are escaping to the past on a regular basis, it means there is something wrong in your present. And instead of fixing it, you're just trying to escape it. I separate nostalgia into 4 different types. It's not a specific research, just my own observations. Medical nostalgia, a form of depression when a harsh reality of present is so intolerable that people are finding refuge in the comforting memories of the past. Memorial nostalgia, when a person is not depressed but occasionally can reflect on the experiences that he had long time ago. Consumerist nostalgia, it is provoked by the material products and brands from the past, many of which are gone. Historical nostalgia. It is when a person is nostalgic not just about his own life, but about a specific historical period from the past, in which he probably wasn't even born. It is a dissatisfaction with the current era and desire to live in one of the past eras. Such kind of nostalgia is often accompanied by thoughts a la, I was born in the wrong place and the wrong time. While listening to music, which type of nostalgia do you feel? I know experiencing nostalgia while listening to music is very subjective, but here are some of my personal recommendations. For the medical nostalgia, I would recommend The Dark Winter by Aäkon Këëtrëh from 1997. I know I reviewed this one in my video about him and the Black Legions, but this is the perfect example. It makes me feel nostalgic about some moments from the late 2019 and early 2020. There were a lot of positive and negative moments in that period. I was extremely depressed during the entire 2019. I've had tons of obsessive negative thoughts, I lost some weight, and I had terrible OCD. In 2020, my mental state started improving. It was such a great year for me. I still had some personal issues, but my life became much better in 2020. What does it have to do with the Dark Winter album? During that period I listened to a lot of black metal and dark ambient, and the Dark Winter was one of those albums that put me in the state of serenity. It's a wonderful music that was an emotional air pocket for me back then. Especially I like the final song. It is one of the most emotional songs that I've ever heard. This album was important because I listened to it in that transitional period between the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. Wherever you are, Mr. Këëtrëh, I hope you are still alive and doing good. Your music helped me a lot in the hard period of my life. Next album in the medical nostalgia category is Höst by Vanhelga from 2012. This album, especially the song Sorg, I listened in a similar period of my life and it was such an emotional outlet for me. If you want to listen to the melancholic and raw black metal with the atmosphere of fall, you need to listen to this album. Vanhelga is super underrated band, positive music for positive people, as the band describes itself. Listening to Vanhelga was always a therapeutic process for me in 2019 and 2020. What about the album Höst? If you don't know what to do this evening, go listen to the album because it's a masterpiece. Now let's move to the memorial nostalgia, which music is perfect to awaken it. I don't know about you, but for me, it's these albums. Kaffe or Blod from 2008 and Kaffe or Blod II from 2017. I don't want to compare them, both albums are great. I listened to them again and again and again so many times. The first time when I listened to Kaffe or Blod, I was so excited that I turned the second part right after that. I think it was the spring of 2020. Hypothermia is one of my favorite bands. Kim Carlson is the leader of Hypothermia. He also has other music projects, and it's hard to describe the influence of his music on me. I have so many great memories with his music, especially with both Kaffe or Blod albums. I remember when I walked in the park and the weather was gloomy, the sky was grey. I looked at the green nature and at the red and orange flowers. At that moment, I felt a joyous sense of melancholy, and then I thought about Hypothermia's music. Both Kaffe or Blod albums have special meaning for me. Next album for the memorial nostalgia is again by Hypothermia and it's called Gråtoner from 2008. It's an EP and there are two versions, original from 2008 and a re-recorded version from 2015. Both are awesome, but I prefer the original. I listened to this album approximately in late 2020 and early 2021. For me, it's a great addition to Kaffe or Blod, and I have similar feelings about Gråtoner. It just has more serene atmosphere. 2021 was an awesome year. It was very peaceful and meditative. Listening to Gråtoner was perfect for that year. Unfortunately, Kim quit music and completely abandoned all of his social media in 2021. I was lucky to attend some of his live streams on his YouTube channel and ask him a few questions. Thank you, Kim, for your music. Wherever you are, I hope you're alive and happy. What would I recommend for the consumerist nostalgia? This one is complicated, to be honest, because I rarely feel it. The first album will be Floral Shoppe by Macintosh Plus from 2011. I know this example is a bit corny, but this album is cool to listen, to chill and don't think about anything. It's literally the most influential album in the vaporwave genre. It makes you feel nostalgic for the old TV shows, video games and the internet from the 2000s and early 2010s. Another music recommendation is the official soundtrack for Mortal Kombat 3 from 1995. I know it's kind of cheating, but come on, this kind of 16-bit music is perfect to feel nostalgic, at least for me, because I've had Sega Mega Drive as a kid and Mortal Kombat 3 was my favorite game. Finally, let's move to the historical nostalgia. For me personally, the classical, folk and martial industrial music provokes this kind of nostalgia. The first one is the folk album Soul by Sowulo from 2016. It's a really nice album that will make you feel nostalgic for the ancient pagan Europe. You'll like it even more if you're deeply into the ancient Scandinavian aesthetics. Another album that you definitely need to listen if you have historical nostalgia for the 20th century is the martial industrial album from 1995. Die Weiße Rose by Les Joyaux de la Princesse and Rerecorded Extrême. For me, it's one of the most beautiful martial industrial albums. I've heard it back in 2021 and it was one of those albums that were important for me in that period. I'm a musician myself, and for so many years I made so much of different music. Is there any music of my own that makes me feel nostalgia? Of course, I often associate some songs and albums with different periods from my life. I will not talk about my whole discography, but I would like to mention some releases that I find most nostalgic. In 2020, I made a trilogy of 3 demos that I called The Melancholic Anabiosis. It consists of Earthonhellium, The Face Rap, Thedivinebleeding. Earthonhellium was released in March 14th. The Face Rap was released in June 20th. Thedivinebleeding was released in September 1st. With each one, I have special memories. This is the first music that I made as Eon Catalyst. All previous music I made under my side projects, most of which are already closed. For many years, it was very easy to do the conceptual side projects and very hard to make music that would be personally about me. Understanding of what I wanted my main music to be like came only in December of 2019, when I began recording my debut demo, Earthonhellium. Out of those 3 demos, my favorite one is the face rap, because I recorded it between March and June, and for me it was the best period of 2020. I have so many great memories from those days. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, press like, leave a comment and subscribe to help my channel grow. Don't forget to press the bell of Satan to don't miss the new videos. Buy my music on Bandcamp to support my channel. All links are in the description. Farewell, stay out of hell.